Welcome back. Sorry, I cut you off a bit short there, but I felt you might want to leave that into a meditative state and just stay with that. I'm going to take some movement now, so just bring it into, if you need time just to come back, if this is a separate time. Gosh, I'm really discombobulated myself today. This isn't flowing for myself, so this is down into what's happening with my flow. So if you need time just to come back to the mat, then give yourself time on the mat. I'm going to use my little ball as well. And then just give yourself a little moment to open up the body, little circles, just finding that space and movement. Just going for a little roll. Let's move it back over there. Have mind of their own little balls. Circular energy, see, they don't stop. Circular energy keeps going. It never stops, never ceases. And cat-cow, just find that little roll over the sit bones, into the hips. My hips are a bit sore after yesterday. I did quite a lot of hip work. So just find that little bit of movement around to wake up the body. Find the mobilization. And you can cross the legs the opposite way. It always feels a bit strange when we change the cross. Shoulders, get into some shoulders. Roll the shoulders around the neck. Just moving the body. My neck still feels a bit grumpy. A little bit of side to side movement, up and down. And ear to shoulder movement. And then we can take this a little larger, side to side, and we can bring this into a circular movement. This is really nice to open up, whole body, circle it around. You can go back to really open up the shoulders, a little bit into the thoracic. Just find that movement, changing directions. Just notice that movement. How does it feel? How does the trunk move for you? Oh, little side to side rocking movements. Cat-cow positions, just dropping it through, lifting it up. So you can roll it down through the cat, lift it up through the cow, or the other way, go down to the cow, and roll it up through the cat. And just finding a bit of freedom into the body, twisting movements too, really get into each plane of your back, your spine, your side to side movements, opening up the side body. Just interlace the fingers, open up across the chest, just open and close a few times. Just to free up the shoulders. And big cosmic egg hug. Give yourself a hug. A hug a day. Tell yourself you love yourself. You accept yourself. And then we'll do some release rolls. If you don't like rolling up and down, just take it up and down here, or you can take it all the way to the floor. Little release rolls, you can take these in a circle if you want, but move through the pelvis so that we're just waking up the spine. It's quite nice to go in a circle. It gives you a little bit of momentum, and it wakes up a little bit the fascia on the back into the shoulders. Oops, watch your furniture, watch you put around you, and then you come back the other way. Always do both sides. My tummy's making funny bloop bloop noises. And just take that down. The knees a little rock side to side, finding that's working up some energy through here, through my neck and shoulders. I'll make it itchy when the energy starts to move again. And just roll that around a little bit. Really so are my glutes. And just take this into a little bit of floppy. So let it drop, and let it rock. When the movement stop, change size, drop it and let it flop. And you'll feel that whole body move. And the more loose and free the body is, the less rocking you'll get. So let it drop. And notice how far that movement goes. Where does it travel up to? Where does it pull on the body? And then drop it the other side. And that little softness, that movement, let it cease. Each time it should get a little easier, so long as you let go between each phase. Mind it tighter to going to the right. It's longer to stop. And you can hang out here as long as you need to. Just let that settle into the floor. Into some pelvic tilts, just rolling around onto the pelvis, just feel that movement. And then we're going to do some little lift and bottom drop, so lift and let it drop, and everything will wobble or not. If it doesn't wobble, it shows tension. So do this a few times, lift and drop, and again, don't hurt yourself, make sure you're landing on the soft section. Lift and drop. Let the movement stop, so we don't keep moving and not noticing. So there's that movement of stillness. Like the rain today. And with each drop, you should notice that it becomes a little bit freer. Just drop the knees again, see if that's freed up any, I feel better. And just let that, now you can continue with that, or I'm going to just take the ball, see if I can get it, and just bring it underneath my back, and then just roll around a little bit on the ball. And just find a little bit of movement on the ball. Now you can do your normal pelvic tilts here, if you haven't got a ball, just notice. I'm going to hang out as well on the ball, just notice if it feels, oh lovely, so supportive, and then you breathe into it. Knees can just drop in here. And find the breath, right down to the belly. You can start to extend the leg, give that little rock again, so notice how that feels, little twisty movements. Extend the other leg and find it a little bit more challenging to balance. And let it settle. And it just finds space in your body, in the fascia, the muscle, the vertebrae. Your back feels quite tight. Just give your head a little yes and no while this is relaxing. Now I can feel this grip in my right side. This is gripping too much. The muscles aren't quite releasing. So deeper breath, deeper letting go. And I can start to feel this beginning to open up the front here into the hip flexors too. Now I don't want to spend too long there because it's a little boring to watch. So just bring that into a little bit of movement. Get the ball a little bit further down just to counterpose that so the pelvis tilts towards you, or tilts back actually. That just opens up the back. And this is where a lot of people tend to reside, that they tilt the pelvis all the way back here. It's nice to stretch it open, but we don't want the muscles to over tighten here and stay here. So just let that back counterpose because we do quite a deep bend. And I just release the ball out Just notice the difference. If you have some blocks, you can do that with a block. You can do the same with a block, just resting your back in the block. Find that place to rest it. If you want to let it breathe and arch, back bend, you let the hip drop down towards the floor. And then you counterpose it, you bring it onto just beyond the tailbone so that it counterposes back. And so you can do the same with the block. It's not quite as comfortable, or harder. So just let that rock again, see if there's any difference. Feels good. Feels really nice. And then I want you just to straighten up the legs and take hold of the back of the head and pull the chin towards yourself. And just hang out there for a moment, finding that traction. Breathing into it. And then slowly let the head down, keeping that length, that traction. And place the back of the head down, release the chin off the chest, and just roll the head side to side. That should feel really nice. Just really spacious. And just bring the knees back up. Again, you can do some more movement. Let's just release this into a little bit more. So bringing the knee up a little higher. Just finding that mobility. And take this into Harvest Moon as well. So bring this arm around. Keep the knees on one side. And just circle whole body. It's a little bit of a treat today. So both ways. Just let that open up the shoulders a little bit, drop it to the side, circle the arm through. And notice which side is stiffer. There's many circles or as few as you want to. You can let it rest if you prefer. Just hang out on that. And just bring that back. Notice arms, give these a little flippy flop. So you can lift and drop. You can lift and drop elbow and hand and let that rest. Lift, drop and rest. And it just gets these energies to run through the joint. The joints hold a lot of tension. That's really nice. My shoulders are really grumpy. Don't hurt yourselves, please don't force it. Try and let it relax. Bring it into a little bit more floppy. And just the pummeling, we'll get the fascia just to release. That can go wide, a little bit of a shimmy. You can hear that noise. This is the diaphragm beginning to release when the thoracic starts to oscillate. Then the diaphragm will also start to free up. Feels good. Give yourself big circles here. Nice. Feels a little better. And just check into the back. So the shoulders and hips obviously very connected. So when one's loose and the other isn't, one will pull against the other. Lift one hip, drop it down. Lift one hip, drop it down. Again, let that movement stop before you repeat. And notice where you can actually feel that resonant movement, where you can feel it wobbling or not. And go back to the bottom drops. Don't need to lift it high. And again, if you hear the sound should feel quite open rather than solid and dead. Alright, let's bring the hand up, just hang into the back of the leg and drop the knee, find some space behind the knee. Again, let that movement stop So we lift and we drop, and then let it come to stillness. Then we're going to kick the bottom, drop the foot down, slide the leg away. Kick the bottom, drop the foot, slide it away. That's nice. Do that as many times as you need to. Just don't get too caught up in it. And do the other side. Held behind the knee, drop the foot down. So that just finds space in the back of the knee. And again, let that movement stop. Then, kick the bottom, drop the foot, slide it away. Kick the bottom, drop the foot, slide it away. Just finds a little bit of movement along the legs and the hips. Give those a little wiggle. A little bit of opening up around the body. Let's do some cat-cow positions. So you want to roll up in the cat, down in the cow, and just find a little, sorry, the other way around. So roll up in the cow, move down in the cat. And you'll notice as you go in a cat position, your knees want to splay open. So this is why we don't want to, when we do a back bend, be in the cat position, the tilting of the pelvis backwards, because it puts too much pressure across the front of the thighs here. Glutes over squeeze, and the knees spread open. Gives you an external rotation. You want your internal rotation of your knees. So the cow position for a back bend is going to allow freedom into this lumbar to open up and into the thoracic up here. So cat down, cow up. Just give those a few little ripples. Your floppy bridge, give that a little bit of movement. And this again is going to open up the diaphragm and get rid of any tension. Ooh, we'll give it a good old wibble. It's a good hit. If you hold your belly too much, if you get too much belly activation, that's going for a walk. And then just drop the hips back down. I'll do a little thread the needle for my own bottoms today. So drop the foot over the thigh, and you can open and close a little bit if it needs a little bit of freedom. If it just needs that bit of movement. And then hug, take hold of the opposite leg, and you'll just feel a stretch now through the glute here. I can feel a stretch through the glute. And just lift the leg up and give that a circle. I got a bit clicky ankles. And you can circle the other ankle too. Make sure your ankle is hanging off the thigh so that you're not collapsing into the ankle, not forcing the ankle. This will give you a nice hip opener without forcing too much, without putting body pressure on. And just hang out here for a moment. And you can just start to ease that a little closer if it feels okay. Just open up and come back to the breath. Always come back to the breath. And let's just drop that leg back down, put it on the floor, and just lift the hips up, and just find a little bit of a stretch open, cross through the groin here, and just hang out here for a moment. Arms can go overhead, which is going to shift your center of gravity. It's going to make you feel a little bit more downhill so that you're not putting too much pressure on the unsupported areas. Just feel that into the hip area. You should be feeling quite a nice openness into the hip. And then drop the hips all the way down to the floor. Just rock this side to side. Just make this a little bit mobile around your lumbar, thoracic junctions. And then just rest over to the side, letting the top leg rest down. And you're going to get a little bit of opening, a little internal rotation into this top hip here. Arms can stay overhead if that's comfortable. Otherwise you can bring them down if your shoulders are a little uncomfortable, or you can have the don't shoot me cactus arms. And just let that release, open down the thigh. It feels very nice coming back to the breath. It's not too tight in this region here. And then changing sides, you're going to rock the hip all the way over, and you'll get then a nice stretch and twist down through the whole of the glute. Arm can stay, don't shoot me, it'll give you a nice pec stretch too. And just let that breathe. Which is where you're pushing and pulling. Makes me quite sleepy. So just bringing that all the way back up. Uncross the leg to bring it back up. Just circle the arms a little bit to release out anything that's gripped a little bit. And just find a little bit of movement side to side. You can bottom drop, you can notice the difference. I'm just going to swivel around so you can see the other leg. And then we'll do the other side. So just finding that little bit of movement again, just to free up, make sure things are happy. Always make sure things are happy before we do anything. Crossing the opposite leg over, make sure your foot is hanging off of your thigh. We don't want the ankle to collapse. It might appear that you're opening your hip further, but you're just using it through the ankle. Thread the arms through, take hold of the other leg. Gosh, my hips are so, my glutes. Straighten up the leg and just give this ankle a circle. Just to let go of any tensions. It does help store a lot of tension down in the ankles too. And you can circle the other foot. And then come back to the breath and just start to ease that a little closer when you feel ready. Just feeling the stretch all the way through the back here of the glute. Feels very nice. And just letting that release any tensions, any gripping. This is all sacral area where we're holding either emotions or not creating. And that could be creating the life we want, which is hard at the moment. It's very easy to come into doing nothing. And you start to feel that easing off. It stops gripping. The muscle starts to yield. Start to feel that releasing out my back as well. And then just drop that leg, drop the foot onto the floor, ground it through, allow that hip to open, up into bridge, arms overhead, just let that hang out for a moment, unsupported. It'll let the hip open a little bit more, you'll let these muscles ungrip. It's really tight this side for me. Just notice where the gripping is happening. The support leg should be doing the work, not this unsupported leg. Obviously be careful. Flexion of the foot will help to stop it slide off of your knee. And just let that breathe. Nice. Yeah, they're wobbly on this side. And then just let the hips come back down to the floor, arms can stay overhead, and let it rock side to side. Just feel that release. Ooh, I've got a little click in my neck, so this shows that the tension travels right the way through. If the shoulders are a little grumpy, mine are, that's need my massages to let go. So just bring that into don't shoot me cactus arms. And then we're going to leave the leg towards the top side so that you just get a little bit of a internal rotation that will help to free up the hip a little bit. Just feel that easing out. Doesn't feel too bad for me, it feels quite nice. I'll just move that along a little bit. So you can adjust the position, so if it doesn't feel deep enough, just move your body so that you can feel the stretch. Check this underside glute isn't gripping, so make sure you let go. The glutes doesn't need to support, you've got the floor to support you here. And just let that breathe. It makes you feel sleepy. Once you start to let go of tension, you start to feel quite relaxed and sleepy. You come down into your resting mood. It's good. And then we're going to move that over to the other side. So let that just drop to the other side. Again, the arms can stay in cactus. Make sure on the side of the hip, so do move the body. And you look away from the knees. I like to use my hand just to give it a little bit of an ease, slightly deeper twist. And you might feel that across the pec here with the cactus arm. And just let the breath guide you, let the breath show you where you're feeling tense and you need to let go. Grippy in my hip flexors here, but the finer posture will help that. And then just undo the legs, bring the knees back up, a little bit of a rocking, circle the arms just to make sure the arms haven't tensed up, give them a little zombie. This right shoulder of mine needs to let go. So just give that a little bit of a flippy flop. Bottom drops, feels better. Knee drops, how does that feel? Feels a lot freer. So already we started to let go of things. Very good. So let's just bring this into, actually I just want to take this into a fish because that'll take the upper body. So just bring your hands, if your back is sore you can sit on your hands, lift the chest off and drop the head back into a fish position. So just opening up the chest. If your back is fine, you don't need to sit on the hands. That'll give you a slightly deeper stretch. And just allow that to breathe. Opening up the front of the chest, front of the throat, can't say it in this way. And just let that drop down, just release the head out. Make sure the shoulders again haven't seized up. Now you'll need to bring either your ball, I'll show you the blocks in case you haven't got a ball. You can use bricks or blocks, doesn't matter which you use. 2, 3, 4, 5 even if you want to. Now we bring the blocks underneath the low back. That might be too high for me tonight. Already in tonight. Ready for my bed. And you rest the hips so that you've got a neutral spine. You don't want it to be tucking too far back or too far forward. And you can extend the legs along and just open up through the hip flexors. Or if you have a ball, if you haven't got any blocks, use some books with a cushion on top. If you have a ball, You can rest your ball underneath your sacral, and the ball is actually a lot comfier. The bricks, although they're soft, are quite hard, and so the ball allows breath and movement, fluidity, so the ball is actually a little kinder. Legs extend, but if the legs aren't happy extending, just bend the knees up, it's fine. Arms can stay down, or you can extend the arms overhead. And just find, I might even put a brick underneath the ball. Makes a little bit more space underneath here. That's better, that's it. And just allow this now to breathe. You're going to take this into quite a long time, so letting go. Deep belly breaths. Just finding that space. This is quite grippy for me on this side, so really focus where the gripping is happening and see if we can let go. Fully supported, so we don't need to be doing any work. This is full restorative, letting go, feeling the body fully yield. Just allow this breath to show you, where does the breath feel caught up? Where does the body feel it's tight? Shoulders also, are they asking to be yielding too? And just allow this to really come down with the breath. The longer you stay, the more benefit you'll get. Your muscles can fully let go. And if you've got the ball, you'll feel that your whole body molds around the ball. Open the front of the body. We spend a lot of time sitting, so the hip flexors are tense and tight. We're not forcing, we're just asking this with the breath to let go. You might find after a few mindful breaths that the breath starts to just become into a natural rhythm. Just let it go. Check the jaw. Check the shoulders. Check the glutes. Check the tummy. Check the toes. I'm going to bring this out so that you can stay there a little longer. So, you know, you can use this as your relaxation, as part of your relaxation. Bend up one knee, and bend up the other. If you're on the ball, you'll be able to just roll it around a little bit, just to wake up the muscles again. I'm just going to bring my arms back down. I've gone a little dead, because I'm a little bit hypermobile in my joints. Lift any blocks or balls that you have out of your back and slowly bring this down. A little bit of cat-cow is going to be beneficial here. Just bring that into a little bit of movement, and I might do the counter pose. Take the ball so that you tuck the pelvis back, so that this is finding a posterior tilt, it's going backwards so that you're finding length along the back here. You can do it with bricks as well. And just let that counter pose soften off the glutes and just let the back release, as it might have been quite a deeper bend. And then just release anything again, flopping side to side. Just allow a little bit of movement side to side. Let that flop. Let that flop. You'll find you walk forwards, this way you go for a mat walk. Just let that flop. Give the arms a little flop. Bring the neck up. Just hug the neck here, chin in. And let that roll down. Find a stiff spot, just let that go again. Hang out a little bit longer. Oh, feels really nice. And then you can go for further Shavasana, or if you find that you're ready to finish, then you can use that as your Shavasana. Restorative work, you don't move a lot. Just take that into a twist position. Just make sure everything has eased out. Especially if something is a bit grippy still. If it's deep, it'll take a while, take a few sessions to let go. And change size. Cross the legs if you want to take a deepest twist. And just let that open up. And then just roll yourself over very slowly, sit yourself back up, back onto your mat, into the upright position. Just take a moment to ground these energies, bring them down. So we've been on the floor quite a long time. Deep inhale, arms can go overhead and the hands can come down to rest at the breastbone. And take gratitude. You should be able to feel all these tingles now around your body where we've freed up any tension. You might feel it in the shoulders. That feels really good. So have a lovely Sunday, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Extend my gratitude out to you all. Hope these are useful. So certainly useful for myself. So thank you and blessings to you all. Thank you, and thank you. I hope your week is joyous and as free as you can be. Let me know if I can help with anything. See you again soon.